Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. This is the first video in my nostalgia series. Now, some of you may know that I am very big on nostalgia. You know, I'm a 90s child and the 90s were the best era to grow up in. I know everybody's going to argue that their era was the best, with a few exceptions, but the 90s really was fantastic for both kids TV, just fashion, music, just everything, and the kids TV especially was amazing. Although you will find that a lot of 90s TV shows were in the 80s and they were just carried on, which I think is kind of the same with some of them now. You know, a lot of the 21st century TV shows are from the 90s and they've just been brought across, although we do get some rubbish kids shows now. But anyway, today's TV show I'm going to be talking about is Alvin and the Chipmunks, and I'm not referring to the films and the sort of more 3D lifelike chipmunks. I'm on about the proper cartoon animated chipmunks, the original chipmunks. Don't get me wrong, I love the films. I think they're fantastic and cute and just absolutely adorable, but you can't beat the original cartoons. It started in 1983, so it is quite a sort of long time ago when it first began. And the episodes were actually finished being made before I was born. It ran from 83 to 1990. And if I remember rightly, there is 100 episodes. I forgot to take that down. But 100 episodes of Alvin and the Chipmunks, that's quite a lot. Now, I'll be fair, I don't think I've seen them all. I mean, there's only about 5 or 6 of them that I can remember off the top of my head, and that's only because that's the ones that were on the video I had. I mean, there were other ones that was on TV, but the ones I can really remember, there's about 5 or 6 of them, not many. But even so, that's still quite a lot, because I can still picture them scene for scene in my head. Granted, I did watch them a lot, an awful lot, so I can still sort of know what's going on in things. And there's this really funny one about a granola bar, which is so sweet. And it also taught me, this is just random little facts before I get in with the proper stuff before I forget. There's also one episode about a spelling bee, where it taught me that the principal at school is your pal, which allowed me to identify the difference between principal PLE and principal PAL. So it did teach me something, which is quite nice for a kids show, because I mean, nowadays you look at things like In the Night Garden and things and you're thinking, well, all this is teaching kids to do is make funny noises. But never mind, I will actually be doing a video about In the Night Garden at some point, just because it scares me incredibly, but more about that later. Okay, so this basically is about 3 chipmunks, for those of you who are not perhaps familiar with the chipmunks: Alvin, Simon and Theodore. They were left with Dave Seville, who is a piano player. He's a musician, if you will, and he takes them in and looks after them eventually. So it's kind of the basic. If you've seen the first film, which I know a lot of people will have seen the first film because it's fantastic, and if you haven't, I recommend it. That does sort of give you the introduction. The film is very much like the original Chipmunks, with the exception of the music career, because that doesn't happen with the Chipmunks as such. Well, it does, but that's irrelevant. So it is basically the same. Dave takes in these 3 chipmunks, Alvin, Simon and Theodore, and treats them like his own kids. And basically the cartoon TV sort of takes us through the Chipmunks' adventures and all the different things they get up to and their antics. And it's just basically like 3 little boys having a good time, 3 brothers causing problems and creating nuisance and things like that. But they're chipmunks, that's the only difference. And I just think it's so super cute. I mean, I think that does sort of add to the effect of it. If there were just 3 cartoon little boys, like 3 Horrid Henrys or 3 other cartoon boys, I can't think of any off the top of my head, then it wouldn't be as sweet. But because they're chipmunks with their little poofy cheeks and their sweet little voices and things, it makes it that little bit more enjoyable to watch. I was surprised to find out today that there were actually only 2 main people doing voiceovers, which I have written down because I knew I'd forget. Alvin, Dave and Simon are voiced by, now I want to say Ross Bagdasarian Jr. I'm so sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. The name that will be in the tags or in the information below. But yeah, so it's the same person doing the 3 voices, and then doing Theodore and the Chipettes, which is the female chipmunks, it's Janice Carmen. And I mean, now that you hear it, you can sort of hear the similarity in the voice ever so slightly. But you know, when you're a kid, you do think it's 4 different people doing Alvin, Simon, Theodore and Dave. So it's quite, it doesn't spoil it, but it's just quite a weird thing to sort of learn that there's less than 3 voices doing it. There are additional voices, and the first one that I sort of picked up on is Frank Welker. He's done voiceovers for Scooby-Doo, Garfield, Tom and Jerry, and the backup plan as well, which was quite a surprise. So there are a massive list. If you go to the IMDb page, which if I remember I will link in the below bar, there is a massive list of additional voices, which is like your sort of your guest voices and sort of doing other roles and things when required. So that is really nice. It's sad to say that the Chipmunks aren't really on TV nowadays. There might be a channel out there that still shows the original Chipmunks. I'd like to think there is, but from my TV anyway, from the general cable package that I have, the Freeview, there isn't a channel that shows the Chipmunks. So feel free to let me know in the comments box if you do know of a TV channel that still shows them. Because I'd like to know that they're still going out there and they haven't just been cast aside because technology's improved. I mean, my sister got all, well actually my brother got all my videos, but he's more of a game console person. My sister's like me, she likes to sit down and watch TV and DVDs and things. And my sister sort of inherited all my old videos and things. I don't actually know if they still have a video player, but when they had a video player she'd sit and watch them and she quite liked the Chipmunks one. So it just goes to show that even though shows nowadays are improving, kids still like the original TV shows, they still like the sort of classical animated things. I'm not sure if I can call Alvin and the Chipmunks classical, but never mind. So for me, it was definitely one of my favourite shows. It wasn't my favourite show as a child. Sabrina was, followed by Rugrats. And then maybe this one, possibly. But either way, even if it's not my favourite, it is still something that I would happily sit down and watch just now. Just the voices are so adorable. I just can't get enough of them. They're so cute. I mean, each episode does have a sort of moral base to it, like you shouldn't steal, or you should always look after your brother, or, you know, don't go into the zoo cage when there's a big monkey in there, stay out. I mean, there's a funny episode where Alvin, is it Alvin? No, I forget now because it's been quite a while, but one of them, I think it's Alvin, actually it is Alvin because he's got his cap, he got a job at a zoo cleaning and mopping up puddles, and he goes into the cage, and he gets confronted by a big gorilla and he's got to get out, otherwise he thinks he's going to get eaten, and it's very random, very entertaining. It does take us out of this world. Like there are scenes where Theodore is gliding through the air and things, and he's a hermit and things, which also taught me the word hermit, which is quite nice. I learned a lot of words from kids' TV shows, which I might not actually know now otherwise. So see, TV is educational, and Alvin and the Chipmunks is educational. Plus they have some really nice songs in there as well. And the theme tune is amazing. I always watch the theme tune, well listen to the theme tune and watch the opening scene on YouTube because it's just so catchy and much better than any of the tosh that TV comes out with nowadays. I mean, it is just miles and miles better. I could sit and talk about the Chipmunks all day, but I realised I don't have enough time for this. So feel free to leave comments and things and let me know if you like Alvin and the Chipmunks. I was going to say let me know if you prefer the film or not, but let me know only if you've seen the cartoon and the film, if you prefer the film. I don't think it's fair for people to say that the film is much better if they haven't seen the animated series before. You have to give it a chance. I think there are some clips on YouTube, there should be some anyway, because, I mean, you've got like the whole of the Sabrina animated series, and that's, shamefully to say, that's less popular than this. But I think they're all there. My apologies if they're not, but either way, feel free to let me know your thoughts on the episodes, or maybe you've got a favourite episode or a favourite plot, or you remember certain things like I can. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about this. I'll probably do a video for my nostalgia series once a week. Feel free to also just leave comments about your favourite 90s shows or 80s shows or whatever. Your favourite kids shows in the below box. What do you call it? Never mind. I'm sort of getting off track. The bank's been really annoying me today and PayPal's been messing up my account and I'm totally stressed. But never mind. Yeah, so feel free to let me know your favourite 90s shows or 80s shows or whatever as well, so I make sure that I catch all the good ones. And yeah, I will see you in my next video, which I have no idea what it'll be, although I've got a pretty good idea. Yeah, you'll have to wait and see, but I'll see you next time. Bye guys!